So
we're on.
yeah, we're on.
All good.
I accidentally bought decaf coffee.
Oh,
I only realised that as I
why
drank it this morning.
accidentally?
Because it was in the same bag as Horatio got me into the stuff from Co-op, and then I and I went to Argos and there's a Co-op next to Argos.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why I went to Argos in a minute. Don't worry about that. But when I was in the Co-op, I thought, oh, there's that nice coffee that Horatio likes. I got it, drank it this morning, decaf. So I feel a little strange.
Carte Noir?
No. It's the Colombian stuff.
It's yeah.
Oh,
I got a decaf version.
Is it bean?
Yeah.
Irresistible stuff.
It's like ground
Kenyan,
coffee.
Ethiopian.
And then you put it in the little,
little
coffee
fancy
pot,
thing, yeah.
which broke also this morning. So I only had like a little bit, and then I had to fill the rest up with hot water. So
Have you not had a coffee yet?
I don't feel caffeinated. Yeah, because I had a decaf. Yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah. But you said that's really good.
Yeah, no, I am an advocate for not drinking coffee, but I am back on the coffee right now.
Yeah,
Just with the baby getting
Yeah.
up at 5 a.m. every morning.
yeah.
But if you can get into decaf, it's great. It's getting something for free. But you
Totally.
do need one coffee a day. I'm not barbaric.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's why I
You
feel
need
a
a
bit
good one
strange.
in the morning.
Yeah, but it was an accident. I couldn't do anything about it, and then
No.
I was on the way here,
Oh.
and I was in Argos because I was picking up some weights.
What weights
like
did you get?
Like you got.
2s, 3s, 4s, 5s.
I got a selection of 3.
Ooh, that's expensive.
No, it was a very cheap. It was like £15. It comes with a little stack holder. I mean,
Aw.
they're very cheap,
Yeah,
shitty
yeah.
ones. But I think they're like 1.5, 2.6, and 4.5 or something like that. So I thought I could gradate myself up, graduate.
Great. Good date.
No, no word. Haven't had coffee. Don't talk to me before I've had my coffee. Don't. Before I've had my coffee, I'm crazy. Yeah, I am. I really wish it was a real coffee this morning.
If you don't love me at my best,
Then if you don't love me at my best, you don't deserve me before I've had my coffee.
I saw that on a tote bag. That's actually quite a good tote
Yeah.
bag if you did that one.
Coffee monster. That's me. The funny thing is, I don't feel tired. I feel sad. I feel
Yeah.
sad without a coffee.
You seem it. You
Sad.
did arrive with a very negative energy, which I kind of chose to ignore.
Yeah. And I straightened my hair, or at least I blow dried it straight. Don't like it. There we are. Anyway, I picked
And
up
Bebe
these...
failed her driving test, which
And I
is the
failed my
theme
driving
of today's
test.
episode.
I failed my driving test. So I feel embarrassed. I feel ashamed of myself. I also mostly feel ashamed of myself because I was so horrible to everyone at that test centre, unfortunately.
But what I don't understand is the day before when I saw you, you were like, oh, I'm definitely going to fail. That doesn't matter. And then apparently you were very upset. So is it your overachieving childhood, which is kind of you were trying to make it seem like you'd be fine with failing, but
Yeah, of
you
course.
knew that you
I was
would...
the girl in the exam that goes in being like, oh my God, I haven't revised. I'm so going to fail everything, but knows that they're going to come out with 100%. percent But instead I came out with a fail, and that's the first test I've ever failed. So I think it was mostly the embarrassment of just actually thinking in my stupid little brain that after only 10 lessons with an instructor, because of the pandemic and stuff, and they were long lessons, and I've been driving around for hundreds of hours with my mum, that it would work out for me because I would do what I always do and like find a way to like, blag it. But this is not the kind of thing you can blag. And I like had a little mini crash, and it's like, what? Like, are you a drama queen? But apparently that's enough to make you fail.
But didn't the instructor then say that tire's going to need fixing?
Yeah, he was really. I mean, he was overreacting. I bumped the tire a tiny little bit, and I just felt like this kind of my stomach drop when he said, "Okay, we're going to. Could you turn the car back to the test center?" And he sounded like not like annoyed. He almost sounded like a little scared. Like he was like, "Oh." But it was like, I'm a good driver. I'd been driving amazingly up until that point. It was just this one mistake because I was nervous because I wasn't used to the roads. And I know the whole point of the driving test is to make sure that they only make sure safe drivers get a license. But I was so embarrassed. Also, it didn't help that on the way there, it'd all been going really, really, really well. But then our mum thought it'd be a good idea that I do like quite a complicated reverse park in, so that when I had the actual test, I could just drive out quite easily. But of course, this reverse park was like over a road, and there were all these other learner drivers there waiting for their test. So not only were they watching me, but their instructors were watching me too. It was like a lesson in how to not park a car. I got so flustered that I ended up like diagonally parking in between two spaces, freaking out about it. And I saw this girl staring at me, and I just was so annoyed that she was staring at me. So I just looked at her and I said through the window, it was the hottest day of the year, sweating, my arms just, I was like, can you stop looking at me? And our mom was just like, oh, baby, you can't. And she just kept looking at me. And then I think that she can't speak English, because that's probably why she keeps looking at me. And so I then got even more angry. And then finally I realized that our mum was going to have to park the car for me. So I had to get out. And I had to stand there like a teenager as she parked it for me. And then this kind of slightly patronizing, but ultimately well-intentioned driving instructor came up to me and said, what you need to do is you need to reverse a little bit more, have more confidence with it. And I was like, I know how to drive, actually. I park really well normally. And I felt the voice inside of my head being like, why are you being like this? Why are you being like a teenager? But I just, my body was just in such a state of tension and anxiety. It's like I let the adolescent kind of angst that I didn't really have as an adolescent just overpower me.
Yeah,
and
but
it just
it's
fucked
also
up
symbolic
everything.
that it's a thing that does mark kind of adult freedom, being able to drive.
And I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So
just not ready.
I think that's why I cried afterwards, because it was not only just like the embarrassment of how badly I behaved, and I of course apologized profusely to our mother and stuff, and she thought it was really funny. I
was just so surprised, because when she told me that you were that upset, I was like, but she was fine.
Yeah, I was upset because it just, I think it maybe represented something from my head. Because it was like, it's the end of lockdown. It's something I've been thinking that's going to represent something to me. Like, I've achieved something. You passed your test the first time. Like, people do that.
Because I'm not a fucking idiot.
And then I didn't. And it just was such a shock to my system. And I think it was like a reminder that I'm not that test passing person that I was 5 years ago. And that's fine. I'm a different person. I've gone through so much. I've grown and I've developed, and this is who I am now.
You go, girl!
You go, girl. Girl boss moment. But to have to confront the person sitting in the car crying like a fucking child and being like, I'm not a grade A student anymore, it was actually quite difficult. That's why I freaked out about it. And
I can totally understand that.
anyway, I was the only test I was able to book again was in November. So fingers crossed, you guys, I'll have had enough practice before then.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I'm sorry to the lady that I verbally abused. I didn't mean to be that horrible to you, but you were staring at me and you're a bitch. So
yeah. Well, I only passed first time because of luck. I have no idea. I should not be allowed to drive. I still can't park. I remember even in America when I was driving on my own there, I can't believe I actually did that. I had to get just strangers into the car every day to park. Every day. Every single day.
you had to ask strangers on the street.
Every day. Once a day to park, I would just say, sorry, can you come and help park me? Play a little girl lost type thing. Sorry, please, will you help me? They just get in and park it, then you're done. Easy.
That is
as long
a
as
life hack,
As long as they
Jessie.
don't steal the car. That was always a worry. But that you pick a person that looks like they can drive,
And you play the English thing up. Because you can be
totally.
like, oh, it's the other side of the road. I don't know how to do it.
I also did it in England every day.
You
I've
put,
never
you
parked.
put on an American accent in England and say, oh, I'm not used to the roads here.
Yeah,
They're
I
so
should have done that.
small.
Did you do it?
Every day, every time I drive, I get someone to park.
That's so funny.
Like a very ballpark, like
Every day, so every time I've driven. So I don't know how many times I've driven.
over 50.
Oh, yeah.
That's mental.
That's
Yeah.
so funny, Jessie.
I'm
That
not
is
gonna learn to
fucking
park.
Hilarious.
Different person every time. Sorry, every time, like over 50 times to get in your
Yes.
car instead of parking.
Probably not 50 because I haven't driven that much.
Yeah, that's, hopefully. 'Cause
You're like Cher Horowitz.
Like
in,
probably
in
20
Clueless.
times, 25 times. I'm like Cher, yeah.
Because she was like, I didn't need to park. Everyone in LA has valet. You
Yeah.
could just use valet all the time.
No, I definitely cannot park, and I was not going to be able to park unless it was like a ridiculously large bay. There was just no chance I was going to be able to park, so I just
So you must have just like blagged that in your driving test then, because you have to park in the driving test.
yeah, I just blagged it.
Oh my God, I can't
It's
believe
confidence.
that I failed
It's parking is confidence. So I was able to blag the confidence for the test. But in real life, I was like, I don't have to do that.
I'm
Someone
just
else can go
remembering
and
the
do it.
sound that the car made, the sound that he made, the sound that I made. It's just all like flashing in my head. It's very embarrassing.
But do you remember also, he probably really enjoyed failing you because probably most people pass, no offense. So,
No, it's a 46% pass rate.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, then I did very well.
This is not a time for you to hype yourself up, okay? This is a time to make me feel better. Anyway, that's a bit of a bummer. But it's fine because we always had a really good weekend.
Yeah.
We did our first live podcast.
I'm still kind of staggered that people turned up.
I know.
We genuinely thought that, and I also realized I say genuinely a lot. And I only realized that because I did another podcast a couple of days later. And I felt if you can imagine words coming out of people's heads, all of the words would be saying, she says genuinely too much. They all were staring at me like I say it way too much. But anyway, I do say genuinely too much. But I am genuinely amazed that people turned up to the live podcast because we genuinely thought that...
There's going to be like 20 people.
I thought maybe 40. I thought maybe a good 40 to 50. And then we emailed our agent the night before to say just, what's the numbers, just so wouldn't... Because also I have this thing of if I don't heavily promote something, I think that people will forget.
Yeah.
And I forget. I'm always really staggered that people remember that they booked tickets for things in advance. Those are the kind of people that are good people because they're organised. They got their shit together. But I am always surprised when people do have their shit together. So
it's also in your self-deprecating nature to think that you would be so forgettable. You know?
Or dismissible. So like, oh yeah, I did book tickets for that, but I actually don't want to do it. I prefer to go to Starbucks.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
But almost, it was a good amount. It was like over 250 people.
It was so nice. And thank you so much for anyone that came. And we hope that you enjoyed the fact that we put it up on our channel last week. Sorry if you came to the live podcast and you're expecting something new last week. No. Sorry, you're cheapskates.
We had a week off because I've been moving.
Yeah. But I had a great time and I thought you were wonderful.
I thought you were great too. I thought that it was a definite halfway thing between doing a live show and a podcast. I mean, not a live show. What am I talking about? Theatrical thing.
Yeah.
Like a theatre thing. Did I just say that twice?
No. You said live show, then you said theatrical.
I said theatrical and then theatre.
Maybe.
Which is a bit stupid.
Maybe.
Doesn't really matter though.
Doesn't matter.
So anyway, when we did shows, I always would find that quite terrifying because we had a script that we had to follow.
Oh my God, and we'd be in a manic state and we'd have written something weird into one of the scenes and we'd be like, oh, we'll see if that works. And then as we got up to that moment, if it didn't work, or
we didn't
it
commit.
was nerve-inducing. Whereas with this, we knew that the people there, they were certified, people who are on board with what we were going to say.
Well, they wouldn't exactly. If they were going to be there that day on Saturday afternoon in Kensington Forum, they would have made an effort to come and see us do what we do, which is just chat.
Totally. And apart from a couple of funny little awkward bits, which were funny, I think, it was great.
Yeah.
And it felt like we were still having a real conversation.
Which we were.
And then when the guy flashed light to say, oh, you've run out of time, I was just like, wow, that flew by. So it was a
really
real
nice.
pleasure.
Did it make you miss doing theatrical shows?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, same.
It even made me think, because I remember just before we went on and a couple of days before, I was like, I can't imagine what it is going to be like to have to be up on stage again in front of people. And I can't believe that we used to do that. To do a comedy show type thing. Like, how crazy must I have been? Because the idea of doing anything that even resembles something like stand-up or comedy just like makes me feel sick inside. But then once we got into the stage, I was like, oh, it's not like you're walking onto hot coals, that you're just standing in a place and people are looking at you. And as long as you have confidence, it's fine. It's really fine.
Yeah, totally. You just have to, follow through with what you're saying.
Totally. And not give off the impression that you hate yourself and hate what you're saying.
Nor that you love yourself and you love what you're saying.
Exactly. As long as you strike that balance, which I think is a pretty broad, you've got a lot of room to play with. People are going to be on board with what you're saying, even if it's not funny or even if it's not particularly interesting. As long as you're relatively calm, it's whatever.
That's also my... I always get scared that it isn't interesting enough. So like why with performing in general, with like for instance Sunrise, I would always feel like I was on a treadmill. Why are you laughing at me? What's wrong with me? Was there something on my face?
No, not at all.
What are you laughing at, bitch?
No, it's not. I just remembered something really funny that I cannot wait to tell you.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, now I don't remember what I was going to fucking say.
I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just going to go back to me.
Good.
When I was doing Sunrise, I would always feel like it was a time bomb from the second I went on stage, how quickly I could get off stage, because then I wouldn't have taken up any more of any people's time and they could go back to their lives and not have to sit there and watch me and not look at their phone for an hour.
Yeah.
So I still have that mentality when I do anything. It's like, don't waste that time. Don't waste that time. They paid money. Which is I think fine, but when you do see a performer just enjoying their time and their space, I do find that quite amazing. I don't ever think I'll be like that, but yeah, I didn't find that so much on Saturday. I felt like we were speaking quite fast and we did get through it really fast, but I didn't feel like ashamed.
Yeah. It was a different thing. I think because when you're doing written material, you're exposing yourself and you're saying, this is something that I deem to be funny and interesting. What's your response? With this, it was like, we're just having a conversation and we don't really care if you find it interesting. Obviously we do, but it's a very different kind of pressure. So I enjoyed it so much. And it was just weird to see people in real life sitting there who we don't know who actively have listened to us. And I had the first person ever come up to me to say that she was a fan of the podcast. Who? It was a couple of weeks ago.
Who?
And
I was gonna say who?
Catherine. Hey, Kathy.
Is her name actually Catherine?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I think so. I hope it is. I hope that I remember that right. You were very nice. And she came up to me in the bathroom and was like, oh, I got gum on my skirt because I'd stuck gum under the table.
And you got it on yourself.
And I fell on top of my skirt. And then it was calmer. And I was embarrassed. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm going to have to wash this off. And then there was a girl using the sink. So I was like, oh, sorry. Oh, got a gum on my skirt, didn't I? And then she turned around and she was like, I listened to your podcast. And I was like, oh God, hi. And she was so nice. And she was like, I'm so embarrassed, or I saw you from across the room and you must get people coming up to you like this all the time. And I was like, no. And the first time it's happened, I'm fucking scooping gum off my skirt that I basically put there myself. Anyway, she was very nice and I gave her a hug.
Nice. That reminds me, in our live show, the theatrical show that we were doing, which is what preceded doing a podcast, and we would have kept on doing if not for the pandemic, blah, 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 blah. We have a whole scene about the fact that I just can't, genuinely, I can't believe that you morally can stick gum under a table.
Yeah.
That just shows you're evil, Bebe.
I know.
Horrible
I think there is something slightly different with my brain than yours. I just
could
don't
not live.
I don't have a compulsion to care about that.
Leaves coffee cups on the tube when she's finished.
You
I
leave
leave
coffee cups on the tube?
Yeah, because somebody picks it up, didn't they?
No! Oh my God! Horrible person. Leaves.
Leaves in there.
Yeah.
Just leaves, puts them
If I try on clothes in a changing room and I've got a runny nose, sometimes I just wipe my nose on the clothes that I know I'm not going to buy.
Oh yeah, no, tell the funniest one you do, which is not funny. This shows she's a psychopath.
If I pick up a size 8 and it's not fitting me like a size 8 should, let's say the buttons are a little tight, I'm going to Hulk my way out of that dress. I'm going to pop all the buttons open. Maybe just one or two, but just... And I'm sorry, it was fucking flimsily made. Your fault. Do you know what I mean? No skin off my fucking big old back. No skin off my not a size 8 back. I'm sorry. I don't give a shit. I'm not well mentally, clearly.
I just find
and
that
that's something that I used to do. I haven't done that in a long time. But
that's probably because of
I haven't been in a changing room for a long time. So boy, oh boy, when I get back in there, finally. Can you imagine?
We just moved house and you showed me that I can see the back of my head if I tilt one mirror the other way. This has never happened to me before in the house. I've never had a mirror this way and that way.
Yeah.
So now I can see the back of my head every day and I am distraught by the state of my back. I've never seen my back every day. I don't want to see my back.
I look at my back every day.
If I had known that I could see my back.
It's one of my highest priorities because I've got a weird, like my hair cowlicks in a strange way. So I have to brush that over. So I've just always got really used to getting a handheld mirror and looking at the back of my head.
Okay, that's one thing, looking at your back.
Yeah.
Of your head.
Yeah.
Your hair.
Yeah.
I mean my back.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to see my fucking back.
No. I don't want to see my back. My arms always look so different than how I expect they're going to look.
The back of your arm.
Don't want to.
Bit of your
I don't
arm.
need to see them. I don't know them. I don't know her.
Exactly.
Okay?
I don't know who that is.
I don't know her. I don't know who the back of me is, but it's not fucking me.
I'm gonna have to.
I don't associate myself with that image.
If I had known that before we went to even see this fucking flat, I would not have got it. I'm gonna have to pave that mirror up.
Don't. It's so useful.
It's not useful. I don't want to see that back.
You got a lovely back. You got a lovely
No, I don't. The way
back.
it does this.
No.
I honestly, it's taken my breath away.
Yeah. And it's strange when it's like, oh my God, I didn't know I had like freckles there and that weird rash, and I didn't know that looked like that. But once you acclimate yourself with it, then it starts to become a little easier. But yeah, I'm quite morally ambiguous in some areas like that when it comes to like things that a good Samaritan would do.
But you're also so kind to strangers, which is why it doesn't add up. Whereas I'm kind to strangers, but I'm not friendly to to people I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind to strangers. I don't care about things though. I don't care about like inanimate objects. I don't think, oh well, I should do that because that, whatever, that's like a nice thing to do. I couldn't give a fuck. As long as if I see somebody's eyes and smile and face, yeah, I'll be nice to it. I couldn't care less about objects though. There's just something that doesn't compute in my brain.
Which is why I know that you have stolen some of my belongings.
Probably.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
My floral black cardigan.
I did not take that.
You did.
And not only was it mine to begin with,
it
was literally mine to begin with.
It was mine because I got it from you from New Look Kids.
I think you're mistaken because I distinctly remember for Louisa Dodd's 11th birthday party, her mum gave me and 3 other girls £10. We got to go to Westfield, it newly opened, okay, in West London, and we all got to go and pick something out with our £10. I, myself, being a smart little kid, went to New Look, picked up that floral cardigan that you became obsessed with. I bought it, you did not buy it.
First of all, it was not a cardigan.
It was a
cardigan. Second of all, I got it from the New Look.
It had buttons down the front of the cardigan.
It was a lycra material, button-up, long-sleeved
You're thinking of something from American Apparel, babe.
No, I'm not. It was from New Look Kids, Bebe.
It was from the New Look Kids. I was a child at the time. I bought it.
Also, New Look Kids, at the time, Tottenham Court Road had a New Look next to it, next to the Superdrug.
Yep.
That's where I went in and I got it.
No.
And I wore it for the next 15 years of my life.
You're mistaken.
And you've stolen it.
That was my purchase.
That was
my first shopping trip. Okay? I think I would remember.
And
I didn't steal it back from you, okay? I didn't steal it back from you. I did not steal it back from you.
You probably couldn't give a shit. You wore it one day, you just took it from my flat, and then you thought, oh, I don't need that anymore. You just probably stuck it to some gum under a table or something.
You're a fucking bitch. You know that? You're a fucking bitch.
I genuinely know you stole that, Bebe.
I didn't. And I would give it back to you, okay? I'm not cruel.
No, I
might be inconsiderate, but I'm not cruel.
It. I'm saying you've lost it.
No.
That was the most useful item of clothing for someone who doesn't like their arms. I used to wear it every day.
The thing is, what's sad though, is you wear something that you think is fitting to your arms, you do the back of the mirror check. Oh my God, that's a different story. Like that thing that you thought was like making you look good from the front. Oh my God. Sister, don't tell me. It's not nice to see.
I'm not a nostalgic person, but every time I see a photo of myself in that black
cardigan, you think that was when I was happy.
I just have such a sadness that I'm not that person anymore.
Yeah, no, I get that. Do you know, that's why I wore this today, because
this is one of my cast-offs.
I remember when I was an American Apparel girl. Do you know what I mean? That was a fun period of time.
Yeah, but American Apparel was such a shit shop.
When you could go and get something that fits your body weirdly, and it never looked as good as it did on these like beautiful models. It would always like have a super high neckline and like a gaping bit
awful.
Here.
Or shiny leather leggings.
Like those disco pants.
Yeah.
I mean, who the fuck did they look good on? But by God, I wanted
very
them.
thin models.
Oh yeah.
Very thin 12-year-old models.
Yeah.
But this shirt is only good. It's disgusting like this, but it's good under a jumper.
It's disgusting like this, did you just say? The outfit that I
put together. It does actually look quite good.
I thought it looked cool.
The collar is very cool under a jumper.
Yeah. You got that.
I did get that.
Yeah. Anyway.
So one day that top will reappear. It was lost in one of my many, many moves.
I'm sure
you stole it.
I'm absolutely sure that you're a dumb bitch and you lost it. But that's just my opinion.
No, I know. Or I left it at a house.
Yeah.
When I was going out with that, with Ryan. Yeah, I think I left it there.
Oh my God, you totally did. You wore that all the time. In fact, I have a picture of you coming back from a night escapade, looking all... And you were wearing the cardigan, sitting on a yoga ball.
It's not a cardigan, Bebe, because that makes it sound really frumpy.
It was a cardigan.
It's not a cardigan.
Jessie, it was literally a cardigan.
It's not. You don't call it a cardigan. If you try and type that, I think it's called a bolero.
Oh my God, it's not a bolero, babe. It's not a bolero. It's not 1954. Nobody wears boleros anymore, and they certainly don't sell them in fucking New Look.
Okay, It's not a cardigan. There has to be a different word to describe
Just
this.
because you wore it as a way to cover up your body doesn't mean that it wasn't what it was for.
Okay.
It was a cardigan.
Okay, can we just be clear, okay? Because it was New Look Kids, it was very small. So it's actually a perfect item to wear if you don't want to be too exposed with your arms.
Well, we're going to link a photo of the cardigan, because otherwise you guys are just not going to have an idea. And I'm afraid if you're listening, you're a loser. You need to take a look at the podcast on the YouTube. I'm joking. Thank you for listening.
I think I should make a line of non-cardigans.
Yeah.
For people who just feel too It's not that I hate my arms.
Yeah.
I don't mind my arms from the front.
Yeah.
I don't like them from the back, but it's like I just don't. I feel very exposed. Like I'm basically showing my arms now, but they're just covered, so I feel better.
And the fact is, there's nothing wrong with anyone's arms. There's nothing wrong with anyone's arms at any size, where no matter how you look, no matter how much you've looked after yourself, no matter what stage of life you're in, how fucking confident you are, how beautiful you are, there's this thing in your brain that's like, you don't look good when your arms are out. You don't look good when you stand or you pose at a certain angle. You don't look good in this colour.
Totally.
Color. It's a certain frame of mind that, like, I feel grips women with a fucking vice-like grip, and you can't let go of it. And no matter, like, wherever you're going to be in life, you're always going to have a paranoia about that type of thing. So that's why the cardigan represented so much for you, because it covered up that issue that you felt was so
But
much
also, I wore that mostly when I was at my thinnest.
Yeah, and you've always had the most amazing arms. I would kill for your fucking arms.
No, but I think that anyone can relate to the inner fat girl thing if they were little girls who were told they were chubby.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that scars you.
Yeah, of course.
I still remember the first time I was called chubby.
Yeah.
I was at Legoland.
Yeah. That is the kind of place where you do get called chubby, though. Do you know what I mean? That makes sense as a background.
No, I wanted to get some pick and mix, and I was told that no, that will make you chubby. You're chubby enough, type thing.
Yeah.
And I remember that. And also the posture thing is really clear, because like with the back mirror that we didn't realize we do look that way, and we just don't realize.
Yeah.
Having to confront ourselves.
Yeah.
And I rarely do that. Even when I look in the mirror, I realized the other day, I never look at myself. I look at my upper half.
Yeah.
And I look at my general look, but I never actually look into my eyes, because that would be a weird thing that people do in films. But if you do, and you actually breathe that in for a second, it's just horrifying or
exhilarating,
quite amazing.
Yeah, because it's like, wow, that's who I am, and this is the body I possess. I wish I could get to that point of body neutrality, which I think is the more important thing than body positivity, right? Because nobody in the world is going to feel amazing and beautiful every day. Even if you're a supermodel or like a beautiful body positive influencer or anything in between, nobody's going to feel good about their body every day. Body neutrality is basically accepting how wonderful that I have a body that I can live in.
Totally.
And it's not always going to make me feel great about myself, but it's here to serve me. That's the only thing that we should all fucking aim for. Beauty standards are awful, but they exist, and we all cater to them, even if we don't think that we do. And me and Jessie just have fun discussing the way that it fucks up with our brains. You know?
And I think forever I will be in a photo shoot, which I've had to do more of lately, just feel like I'm about to be told off.
Yeah.
Constantly feel like you're standing wrong, your arm looks like this, you're doing this weird thing with your mouth or your teeth or whatever. And I just can't imagine going through that kind of experience and feeling confident.
Yeah.
That must be amazing.
Yeah.
You must feel brilliant.
Yeah.
They're awful experiences for people who are insecure, because you just feel like you're about to be like shouted at the entire time. And no one ever does. They're all so nice.
Yeah.
They all only want you to look nice, and they think you look beautiful when you look awful.
But the real fear comes from what's not said. Do you know what I mean? It's what the voices in your head are telling you they're probably thinking, you know? Like I had to do some self-tapes recently, and Horatio helped me with them, and the lighting just wasn't quite flattering, and my roots have grown in, and I'm really starting to regret dyeing my hair blonde and all these stupid things. And I just saw myself. I thought I'd done a relatively good job, and then when I saw it, rather than focusing on any aspect of my performance, I just was like, I felt like I wanted to, like, I felt myself shriveling up inside because I felt I looked so unflattered, you know? And I had to send it off anyway or whatever. And, you know, it was fine. But how silly that instead of me focusing on what I was there to do, which was just to do the job and like to try and act this thing well, I just felt like I'd completely failed myself and failed that particular, you know, job opportunity because I didn't look good enough. And it's just something that, like, no matter how much work you put into it, how much you try, it's just something that constantly plagues you, you know?
But also, you're probably right. Probably you don't look good enough to get that role. You know, you might be an amazing actress, might not get it because of how you look that day. Or the opposite is true. Because sometimes I find that if you focus on the performance and doing the job and you don't worry about all the external things, you do a better performance anyway.
Yeah.
Whereas I only focus with self-tapes on how I look. And
that
that's because I have been so burnt by not getting jobs because of how I look.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it would be, you might be right, or hopefully you're wrong.
Yeah, I don't think I will be wrong, unfortunately, because we know the industry that we work in. But it's just, it's interesting that no matter what point you're in life, it is something that's always going to be very ever present. And that's why it's relatively liberating to talk about it with ease and like freedom and to be funny about it, because it's like otherwise we're all just fucking lying to ourselves, aren't we?
Yeah. And also this morning I had to do a photo shoot, a really quick one for an interview I've done, and I couldn't fit it in anywhere other than on the way to drop Donnie at football. So I said, okay, I'll meet you at this park. Didn't realize it'd be raining. I'm also gonna have to bring my son. They were fine with that. They had to be. She also has kids, the photographer, she understood. And my hair was basically the rain, everything was awful. I knew I didn't look very good, but I also knew I had 20 minutes before Donnie had to go to football and I had to get on with the day. So even though the photos are probably going to be like just disgusting and they'll be in a national newspaper next to an article that probably has a headline that I don't like, grief-stricken Harry Potter chicklet writer, whatever that, you know, it might be, it doesn't matter anymore.
Exactly.
And that's what, you know, it's so liberating just to not worry so much about how you look and how you're going to come across, because you know what you mean, you know what, you know, you're doing, as long as you're not saying anything offensive and you're a nice person, like it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I saw something nice and inspirational on TikTok that's kind of related, not quite, but I thought it was really nice, and it's something related to what you told me, a friend told you, and you always liked it. She was talking about getting back together with a boyfriend or something like that, and now they're engaged. But she said that in the 2 years that this guy had broken up with her and she was on her own, she was miserable and desperate and dating and whatever. And if she had just known that they would come back together in 2 years' time and she would get everything that she wanted, she would have told, like, she wishes that she could just tell that version of herself that was living those 2 years miserably, you're going to get everything that you want, so relax, just be happy. Because if you were told, anyone watching this, you're going to get exactly what you want in 2 years' time, or you're going to be in a place where you are happy in 2 years' time, you would just be fine. You would just be enjoying your life.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm just trying to adopt more of that mindset where it's like, I just feel so frantic all the time. And I think being freelance and creative and trying to be all of these different things means that you always feel like you're never doing enough. But also at the times when other people would be relaxing or clocking off, your brain is still constantly thinking about stuff because you're like, oh fuck, I didn't do enough at this point, so like I could have an idea for this or whatever. So it made me kind of maybe think
you have to
have to try and actually enjoy the moment of your life that you're living in, because you're not going to be this age forever, and in 2 years' time you might be just wishing that you had just been happier and more relaxed.
You have to do that, even if it's just for like 5 minutes, just appreciating what you've got right now. So very rarely am I alone with one of the kids now. And today I was just on the tube with Donnie, taking him to football, and then, you know, today. And he was like, where are Margot and 10? Where are Margot and 10? And I said, no, it's just me and you today because Bobo's looking after them and it's fine, it's just us. And I was rushing there to the station, rushing there. And then we finally got to the tube and sitting on the train. And he was just so different on his own, because so much of his identity now is formed by his siblings being there right next to him, fighting with him or playing with him. And I just looked at him and I was like, oh my God, you're almost 7 and you were the luckiest thing to ever happen to me. And you're here because of a decision I made that one night. You weren't planned. You just made your way here into my life, and it was just like this overwhelming urge to just hug him and just to be like, thank you for being here. Thank you for and it was just because I had that space with him on his own, and that, you know, and it just reminded me that every day it's changing. Every day life is becoming more complicated and different, and you just have to take these moments when you can.
That's beautiful. I had the nicest time looking after them that other day, because it's so funny to just see how much a month can change you know, the kind of things they're talking about or thinking about. And I am so used to them begging me to play with them and engage in the games because I'm good at coming up with the rules and stuff. So it was really weird when I had my back turned for a moment, like changing the baby's nappy, and they were playing the game
on their
completely happily by themselves, saying all of the stuff and more, extending some of the things that I would have given to them. And it made me realize, oh my God, they're getting old enough to do that by themselves now. And it made me sad, but so happy, just like how beautiful that they're going to grow up into people.
Yeah. Although they are growing up way too fast. Bebe was brilliant in a pilot called Dinosaur, which is on BBC iPlayer, which you should all watch.
Thank you, Matilda Curtis. Mwah, beautiful pilot written by you.
So good. And we were watching it last night, and I thought, oh, I'll let them watch it because I didn't actually know if there'd be anything dark.
There wasn't anything like,
But they saw it was called Dinosaur, and they were thrilled. And they saw you on the screen, and they were so proud of you. It was so sweet. And
That's
also
so
because you were
nice.
doing, is it Glaswegian accent? They were like, why is Bebe speaking like that? And they completely didn't even question it. They were just like, oh, she's good. And then they saw you smoke in it. And for the rest of the night, they got a crayon and they pretended to smoke because they believe now that you smoke.
That's so funny. God, that was embarrassing having to smoke.
You
in a
looked so
scene.
good at it.
Oh my God.
You smoke, Bebe.
I don't smoke. For the record.
Fucking liar.
I don't smoke.
Don't trust her. She is a liar.
It was really embarrassing though. That must have been one of the good ones because it was these fake herbal cigarettes and they don't light up very easily. And I had to time when I was going to put it out because there was a certain thing that I was saying where I had to turn to her. So that was the first scene we filmed. That was really, really difficult.
Oh, you're so good.
But thank you.
Oh,
that's very
so
sweet.
good. And Bebe's also in an episode of This Time with Alan Partridge. And again, brilliant in that.
I haven't watched that yet. I'm a bit too embarrassed. But
no, it's so good. They didn't understand why a load of women came in topless.
Yeah.
Which wasn't a mistake on my part.
Steve Coogan.
They did see some
That's
nipples.
why. He was so cool. The coolest guy ever.
Yeah.
Genius.
Because we watched, because we've had to, throughout lockdown, find other things to watch other than see BBs. They did watch all of Alan Partridge. So they knew exactly who Steve Coogan was. So when they saw that you were with Steve Coogan, they were just, who now obviously was dressed up to look so much older, they were so confused.
Yeah. God, he is absolutely incredible.
I know. He's scarily good.
He's scarily good. And seeing him in real life, making stuff up on the spot, that was like the funniest thing I'd ever heard. But he was just kind of like, he was just riffing. It was like watching one of the greats of your time and knowing I'll never. I just want to look at you, you know.
Well, he is one of the greats, and he's also had that luxury of being able to just do it for so long now that he's got his own arena to try out things.
Totally.
He can have a whole set there waiting probably for him to try out things. That, you know, he's earned that.
But he delivers. Like I just have never seen somebody that like so fully fulfills exactly what they have to be doing and more. I was so impressed with him.
Yeah.
So that was that was just like the coolest bonus thing to do a day of filming on that. It's like a really small little bit, but I get to sing a song in it. I don't know why my mouth is so dry because I haven't had coffee. Don't talk to me before my coffee. I already told you that. Don't talk to me before I've had my coffee because my mouth goes all fucking dumb. Anyway, funny fact, that's how we got the theme tune for the podcast.
Yes.
Because Steve Brown, Alfie's father, does the music for Steve Coogan and Alan Partridge.
They're long-time collaborators.
Long-time collaborators. Probably why
Friends.
I got the gig on the Alan Partridge thing. Anyway, I had to sing this song and
Don't do yourself down.
I had to sing the song.
Be assertive.
And Steve wrote this amazing comedy song, which you'll see if you watch the episode. But anyway, after we'd done it and we'd used these like really cool electric voice effects, I said, that's so cool. Like, do you do any other stuff like that? And he was like, yeah, I work with this woman called Magda. She's so cool. She's an artist. And she started recording some stuff with me. I'll show you something that she's done. And then he played me one of her tracks. It was just the coolest fucking thing ever. I downloaded it on my phone and showed it to Horatio, and he was like, that would make a really good theme tune. So that's how we got the theme tune.
And she, kind of embarrassingly, I didn't really know how successful an artist she is.
Oh, Magda,
she's like,
we're sorry, babe.
I didn't know.
We underestimated you.
But also because she's so multi-talented, I didn't realise. So when we asked to borrow something of hers, like of her clothes, because her prints have gone on to be
she collaborated with Marc Jacobs.
Marc Jacobs, and the most famous people in the world have worn her
Harry
clothes.
Styles, Dua Lipa, just to name a few.
Just amazing. And I didn't realise when I emailed her. And then when she sent some, And then I
Billy
googled it.
bonkers, honestly.
They sell them for like £400.
Ding
I could
dong.
sell them once you sent me.
Exactly.
Make
I
some-
might have to. I might have to.
I won't. Hopefully, I'm going to wear one of them on Sunday brunch, which is and just going to be the highlight of my year going on Sunday brunch.
Yeah.
If I get cancelled from Sunday brunch, I think I'm going to have. I think my heart will be broken after the one show rejection and Steph's packed lunch rejection. I think I will. I think my heart will break if they now reject me from Sunday brunch.
They won't reject you from Sunday brunch.
It's just been booked in for so long now. I'm just sure they're going to cancel me.
They won't.
I'm going to have to eat something
I mean, that's an issue for
That is an
us,
issue. I'm
isn't
gonna
it?
have to- I'm gonna
Because
have
you
to
are a
eat
funny
something.
little eater.
on camera. How
Got
do
a
you
weird
eat?
little nibble.
I don't eat with a knife and fork usually. Everything is with hands. Because Alfie's been away on holiday in Lisbon. I sent him to Lisbon. Long story. Won't get into now just until he's successfully back and not having to quarantine. I haven't eaten any meals while he's been away. I've just been eating bars because I literally can't move for stuff. And I realised that without him forcing me to be like a normal human, I do become just somebody who is just
So functional.
and practical.
And use food as fuel.
Kind of. And also because the flat we're living in doesn't do Deliveroo very easily, that's been taken out of the equation. So just surviving on bars.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's great. They're really good bars.
Yeah.
Fucking love these bars.
You look healthy. You got a glow.
Keto mint bars. And I think they're a bit thicker than the other bars.
Really?
But they don't say that on the calories. So I think I'm actually having way more calories than... I'll just stop talking.
I think we've dipped a toe too far, I think, in that muddy lake of mental women.
But you
with
know when you're getting
clear
bonus-
eating disorders.
You're getting you're getting bonus calories.
Yeah, bonus calories. We all want
Yeah.
bonus calories.
You
We all
don't have to track.
That's why I bought the weights from Argos, because I realised that I've not looked after myself for so many years properly that I think my body, I know metabolism is supposedly not a thing, right? You're just about calories in, calories out, or whatever. But I think that I just genuinely have withered as an actual human being because I don't exercise and because I don't eat at the right meal times and stuff like that. So I thought if I buy myself the weights, I can build up some actual muscle, and then maybe it will mean that I'm healthier and stronger. And I can eat more. That's why I've done that. But I didn't realize if you fucking buy something from Argos in real life, you have to carry it back home. I didn't know why I didn't think of that. I walked to Argos with all this hope and aspiration, and I was like, wow, you can just order something from Argos and then pick it up right there. I was picking up a set of 3 weights. I had to carry that 20 minutes home. My arms were broken by the end, and I had to take a break every 50 steps. And I had to put this giant fucking box on a little thing and wait, and men would be looking at me, not helping, not offering to help, good for me. But I wanted in that moment just a little bit of misogyny, and for them to come up to me and be like, oh, you little poor thing, let me take that for you. But not a single bit, I had to carry it all the way home.
It is amazing. Yesterday, I was sitting on the tube with them all on the way to football at the crack of dawn, regretting that decision that I booked them into football. Anyway, I was on one of the seats that does, collapsible seats on the tube.
Yeah.
And sat on that, the lid of the sun cream fell off. I dived down to get it. When I went back onto my seat was no longer a seat. It was collapsed. So I just fell onto the floor really badly. I've got a huge bruise on my bum, and everyone on the tube saw. It was a big fall. They just didn't look at me. I had a buggy and 2 kids with me. No one asked if I was okay. No one even looked. They went back to their lives. And even Donnie and Margot were so embarrassed they didn't look at me.
Yeah.
And a couple of minutes later, Margot was like, Margot, Mummy, you fell. You fell.
Oh no.
It was so embarrassing.
I don't want to get to the point where they can be embarrassed of us.
They are. They're already embarrassed. But also, it was funny because I was angry that no human had said, are you okay?
Yeah.
But I was also relieved that everyone had just glided over it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the good thing. You can't really do anything too embarrassing on the tube, actually, if you think about it.
No. You can't even cry.
Someone
will come up to you.
I once did that thing that occasionally happens to normally a Mormon American tourist because they're not used to being on the tube. But I've lived in London my whole life, so it shouldn't have happened. Where you don't hold on to the bar soon enough as the train starts moving. And I did a tumble roll, gymnastics fucking level fall all over the row of Central Line passengers. And nobody found it funny nor charming. So, that was embarrassing once. What's the most embarrassing thing to ever happen to you?
There's so many most
Yeah.
embarrassing things.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I've talked about vomiting on the art school trip.
Yeah,
But yesterday something also embarrassing really happened. I was in the park with Margot, and it was empty. The park was empty, and I went on the swing to have a little morning swing.
Yeah.
Just pretending I was a 6-year-old child, having a lovely time, really swinging.
Not one of the ones with the leg holders, right?
No.
Those are difficult to get into.
No, we would not fit anymore. And so I was just having a nice swing, quite an energetic swing, looking like, and Margot went up the slide, like really tall slide. So she was basically no longer to be seen as a group of adults walked past.
And you just look like a crazy lady on the swing on your
like
own.
a crazy person in the swing. So in a panic, I just started shouting out, and your legs go out, and then and then your legs go out and in, as if I was teaching an invisible child to learn to swing.
Yeah, but that's not any more embarrassing than the people that you see doing like Tai Chi and dance moves in the park.
Oh yeah, no, they're great. There's a woman who does that every day in the park, and she has done every time I'm in the park, she's there. I don't think maybe she's homeless.
Yeah.
Really happy homeless person.
Yeah. She's got her chi balance, hasn't she?
And a dog that doesn't look very happy just watching her. Anyway, I think that's enough for today.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening, and thank you if you did come to our live podcast, and thank you if you watched the Sunrise documentary that Bebe made.
Thank you. Sorry, my mouth feels
iMovie.
so
Who would have thought iMovie can do a nice little thing like
I tried
that?
to get like captions up, but I couldn't, so I had to use the title screen, so that's why they're all really cringe. But
They're not cringe. I love them.
it's a bit of fun.
Yeah. Got some Patreon followers out of that. Only about 4, but
Yeah.
doing well.
It's doing
well.
well. It's consistent. It's slow and steady wins the race.
If you do want to support us on Patreon, it would help us.
I'm gonna do. We're almost at like a landmark.
a landmark
number.
thing. Almost
So
at 5.
So I'm gonna make a cake.
No, we actually are. And if we do, BB's going to make a cake. But it's a bit weird making a cake if we're the ones who's just going to eat it. But
It is actually a bit weird. I was thinking, could we make a cake and then we send it out to the people?
that would just be disgusting.
Awful.
No, yeah.
Awful idea.
But we might do like
What
a
would
special
last
thing.
in the post? Jerky? We could send you some jerky.
Okay. Well,
We could
also...
send you some fruits. No.
No.
No. You can't send
No.
fruits.
You don't still eat frubes, do you?
I got some frozen in my freezer right now.
I thought you did. Yeah. Of course you do.
Yeah.
I know you feed them pepperami as well. Really bad, auntie.
Okay, I'm a tastemaker. That's what you
No.
could also say. I'm cultivating taste in my young nephew niece. Okay.
Okay. That's it.
My mouth was so weird since I haven't had the coffee.
Okay. I think that's good. Let's finish.
Okay, bye.
She's going crazy now. She's going crazy.